Hello people of the world and welcome back. We would like to introduce you all to Rocket. Yes, and then there was 3. Now before you guys think we were absolutely crazy to get another bird in our lives, no, Rocket isn't our bird. If you guys have been following, you probably know Rocket as the lovely bird of Clive and Rose. You've probably seen them in videos like Macaw Madness, the chili eating competition, when we all went to the Cotswolds together. Rocket's been in our lives for a while, but he now is living in our home. Now what's it like with 3 macaws, you ask? It's pretty hectic. There's a pretty crazy story behind this, so sit tight children and listen well. Now we met Clive and Rose probably just over a year ago now, when Clive emailed me saying, hey, I know how hard it is to have birds, I'm happy to bird sit. We were like, who is this random guy just messaging us on the internet basically saying he's happy to bird sit? We don't even know him. But we thought, hey, let's go see what he's about. We met him at the park. Turned out him and Rose are pretty cool people, and he made his own gin. So that basically sealed friendship then and there. They ended up taking in this lovely blue and gold ball of joy into their home. Now, Rocket is a free flyer. They trained him up well, and we would meet up all the time since, having absolutely epic fly days with all of our friends. Now, Clive and Rose lived in a place which was actually going to be demolished in October. And Mummy Human and I have always wanted to get out of London. As lovely as it is here, we wanted to explore the horizons and see the world. Well, we're kind of like the farm areas where you don't have neighbors either side of you complaining about birds. And then about a month and a half ago, we found this beautiful farmhouse. I popped Clive and Rose a message that morning. I'm like, guys, we have to get out of London. We need to move to this place. It was insane. There was land for about 4 miles around us. Literally 0 neighbors. It was so isolated. It was perfect. After basically saying, yep, let's stitch our London lives and move to the country, sadly, the landlord of that house did not want 3 macaws ripping their house to bits, which is super, super sad. That's something all of you guys who are even thinking about taking these birds in really need to take into consideration. Unless you have a solid rental where your landlord is going to allow you to have pets, or unless you own your own house, it is going to be extremely hard to find a place to move into with these large birds. And a lot of people have given up birds because of that reason. So please be aware before even thinking about taking one of these in. So after we got denied at that place, we thought, you know what? Clive and Rose's place was going to get demolished in October, so why not just move them in here? We had 2 spare rooms anyway. They needed 1 for Rocket, they needed 1 for them. Keep that in mind as well if you are looking into getting these birds. You can't just put them in a cage in your lounge. They need 12 hours sleep, they need their peace and quiet, they need their own environment. So 2 rooms was an absolute must. And then around 2 weeks ago, Clive, Rose, and Rocket arrived. Now we were planning to film the move, but it was actually super, super stressful. Having Rocket getting used to new surroundings with Mikey and Mia. I mean, yeah, they met each other a lot on fly days, but coming into Mikey and Mia's territory wasn't the best. They were not kind to him at all for at least the first week. Now Rocket is just a baby. He's a lot younger than Mikey, who's 6, Mia, who's 3.5. They're basically coupled up, so having another bird in their territory they did not like. So every time Rocket tried to kind of bond with them and get along with them, because he was out to make friends. He was like, hey, great, I got friends. And Mikey and Mia are like, get out of our space, and they'd always fly down to him. They'd always try and attack him and bite him. It was not good. In the first few days, we tried them all out in the aviary, and it just was not going to work. So Clive put a mini aviary in one of the rooms, which is actually where Rose is going to be working from home, and they have their other room to sleep and hang and do whatever they want to do. Now, let me tell you, 3 macaws is so much more work than 2. I mean, if it's just one of us looking after them, it is a bit intense, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, they're actually pretty chill, which is nice. They've just been out for a big fly. But honestly, sometimes you'll have one bird literally screaming their head off, another one trying to rip down the fence, another one hanging from the net about to break it, one of them chewing up furniture, and it's a lot for one person to kind of deal with. And I really don't know how people have more birds. I mean, well, I kind of do. I mean, it's one of those things where you can look after a bird and give it a great enriching life, you know, train them daily, fly them daily, provide them with the best enrichment you possibly can. Or you can own 5 birds, 10 birds, 15 birds, and leave them in an aviary all day and night and change their food. I mean, that's pretty easy, and that's what a lot of people do. I have people message me being like, hey man, I got like 15 macaws and it's easy. And I'm like, all right. Of course it's easy if they're just sitting, literally waiting to die. But having 3 in a home is a lot more. So much more mess when they're all together, so much more noise, because if one screams, they're all gonna start screaming. Macaws learn by watching each other, so if one is chewing a fence or chewing a couch, the other 2 are most probably going to join. And even though they aren't completely best friends now, when they're in the sky, they absolutely love to stay together. And it's such an amazing sight just to basically see how happy they are, kind of maneuvering through the sky all together, having the time of their lives. It's actually usually Rocket and Mia. When they are both in the sky, they literally will go forever. They just keep flying and flying and flying, and it's almost like they've been flying together for years. Like Mikey and Mia, they flock together and they have fun, but Mikey, you know, you guys know Mikey, he'd much rather play in a playground or chase picnics or something like that. Where Rocket has 0 interest in strangers. His parents have done very well in actually bringing him up to avoid strangers, like any free-flighted bird should be. Never ever make a free-flighted bird too friendly. We totally screwed up with Mikey. Don't make that mistake. It's crazy how well him and Mia have actually adopted in the sky. We're on the ground, they get along, and they're getting so much better compared to when they first started. But Mikey and Rocket are still having their differences. It could be like, maybe he's scared. It could be like an Iago situation where Iago just came in and stole his woman. We do have another video featuring Hatboy. Huge, beautiful love story coming out. We filmed it like 6 months ago and did nothing with the footage, so I'll edit that for you guys one day soon. So check this out. Mikey does not want Rocket anywhere near him when he's preening Mia. It's such a sad thing because Mia's fine with him. Mia's like, hey, we can be friends, but Mikey's like, you stay away from my woman, you younger bird. But they really are getting better. It's only been 2 weeks, and they are flock birds by nature, so, you know, they will start getting along. And now, over the last few days, we've been able to kind of leave them in the same aviary. Not that we need to, but just so they do get along a bit more. But there's some amazing benefits of this as well. So, every morning, as you guys know, we have to wake up at 10 to 8 to make the chop. We don't get days off in this. But now, because there is 4 of us doing this, we only make the chop once every 4 days. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, we're all taking turns. It is amazing. I get to wake up, walk downstairs, make my coffee, and there is 2 beautiful bowls of chop made by Climb and Rose. We're sharing the expenses on nuts, and the coolest thing is there is always someone home. Now, between me and Mummy Human, we alternate our hours, so usually about 80% of the time there is someone home throughout the day. And now the days we're both out, either Clive or Rose are going to be in as well, and these guys are literally just going to have the best life. They're going to be so spoiled. I mean, I don't even think Mikey and Mia care about this. I mean, they're just happy sitting next to each other and preening. But days like this, we can just hang out in the garden. I mean, if we're out for the day, we can't leave them here. They'll definitely find some sort of crazy Houdini way to escape. I mean, it's just garden knitting in the end of the day, and Mikey will end up running over houses like he's done in the past and screaming at all the children, so who knows. And another amazing thing, we both now, me and Mummy Human and Clive and Rose, can have amazing nights out. We don't have to wait for these guys to go to bed, which is great. As the others can always bird sit, and I don't know how many of you guys out there actually have birds who have looked into and trust people bird sitting your birds. It is a huge, huge, huge thing, especially if you do want to give them an amazing life, not just kind of cage bound forever, but finding a decent bird sitter who can handle your bird and go by a routine is extremely hard to find. So now there is 4 of us looking after the 3 of them, which actually makes things a whole lot easier. Honestly, if there was 1 of us looking after the 3, I don't think it would ever be possible. Like, you honestly couldn't pay me to look after 3 macaws. It's stupidly draining, it's too much work. I'm not gonna do it, and I don't think the other 3 would either. But yeah, so we just thought we'd give you guys a quick update on this situation. There is gonna be some pretty exciting things coming to the channel because Rocket is having his first birthday literally in a few weeks' time. Now, you guys remember Mia's birthday? How insane that was? I think we had like 20 birds there or something like that. It was absolutely crazy. It was the biggest birthday we've ever had. I'm pretty sure Rocket's birthday is going to be even bigger. The amount of free flyers that have actually emerged over the last year is absolutely insane. Now I'm looking through this Rocket's birthday invite list and I don't even know about 20% of them. So this is probably going to be the biggest macaw free flight day ever in the United Kingdom that I know of in the history of the world.
The universe.
It's going to be crazy. Of course we are going to vlog that. You guys have to tune in. I hope you guys have enjoyed meeting Rocket. Hopefully Mikey and Mia take to him a little bit more than they have now, but honestly, the progress we have seen over the last few weeks is just going to grow. They are going to become friends. Well, we hope they do. If not, it's no real biggie, and that is why we didn't throw all 3 birds into one aviary. That's why they are split over 2 aviaries, over 2 floors, in case they eat through the floor. That was a joke. Macaws don't eat through floors. If you want to follow Rocket's adventures, he's only on Instagram at the moment, Rocket the Macaw. I will link it in the description. Honestly, stay tuned because his birthday party is going to be off the chain. As for future plans for us in this beautiful country home, honestly, it's taken like 2 weeks for Clive and Rose to kind of move in. They're still kind of moving in. Building shelves, building bird perches, building aviaries. Moving in with a bird is not the same as just moving house. So I don't think it's something we're going to do anytime too soon, as in the next kind of month or 2, but if anyone out there has an epic country home that is going to allow the 4 of us and these 3 birds to live there, hit us up. We will move in tomorrow. But for now, we're pretty settled. The backyard's decent. We have enough space in the house. More would be great, but you know, like I said, everyone's home. We're out with these guys every single day, going for big long flies. They're pretty happy, and they're getting used to each other. So enjoy the adventures from here on out from Mikey, Mia, and Rocket. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.